But Mr. Mok, you know, this assumption, some people will say that what you're prescribing could be a recipe for disaster. Because first of all, usually the way accreditation is done, it's not done by writing of names, and we cannot go with the 170 million figure, because if we had a credible population census, then maybe some people will say we could work with population census figures. But even that is an estimate, and then of that, we don't even know how many people are over the age of 18. Because you can only vote when you're above the age of 18.
I agreed. Now, if you're saying, you see, there will always be suppositions, there will always be reasons for people to doubt. But this process, I'm telling you, would solve a major problem. You see, it is better for as many people to be caught in the process to vote, so that the candidate that wins is the candidate that the majority of Nigerians voted in.
Well, some people will say that they appreciate, you know, the problem of legitimacy you think that these elections might have because of the processes that INEC has put in place.
Yes.
But INEC says they're not unmindful of that. So far, they say that they've had up to 60% of the permanent voters' cards being collected.
Personally, I believe INEC, I don't trust INEC anymore.
Why?
When INEC created 30,000 polling points across the country, and the way those polling points were allocated was very questionable.
But
when Jega, and I'm coming, yes, because there was a lot of acrimony, a lot of people were very unhappy.
But doesn't that show? No, my question is this: doesn't that show that INEC is willing to listen? One, if people do not understand what process,
INEC is not supposed,
what process it is that they're bringing in,
yeah.
The commission is willing to listen and say, okay, if you don't understand it, we'll scrap it for the sake of credibility, for the sake of trust.
We are today 30 days to the election. 30 days to the election. If not that the president said everybody must get their polling, their PVCs, INEC could not go back to start distributing PVCs at the right place. I know, look, I beg people. My son is in university. I stopped him from going to school. I said, you must wait on that line until you get your PVC. He waits and waits, you can't get it. And then there are all kinds of things they do at those places. I know how many of my friends couldn't get their PVC.
How easy was it for you to get yours?
Funny enough, the morning they came, luckily for me that weekend I was in the house. When they came, I just came down. There were a few people in front of me, I waited. When I got to the line, my name was there. Funny, in fact, can you imagine that? INEC said they've cleared double registration. On my street, you know, they put pictures on the wall. When we were registering, maybe 4 years ago, we first registered. Then they came back and said there was a fire or something, that we should come and register again. We registered again. When they came this time, I had 2 PVCs. I told them, how come I have two PVCs? And I have 2 pictures on the wall. If you people have cleared all of these things, how did this happen? Okay, bring the second card, let me destroy it here. They say, no, they will destroy it later. So they say all kinds of things. So when DSS was saying that there are all kinds of things happening, these things are happening. But the point I'm making here is this. As much as possible, as many people as possible should be allowed to vote. Then we have another 4 years. India just concluded an election. In the Indian election, almost 800 million people voted. And there was no contest about the result of those elections. Technology is there for this to happen.
Okay, Mr. Emmanuel Mok, that's all the time we have for this segment, actually. Thank you very much indeed for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.
We'll be back after the break to take a look at your comments, so please join us again. All right, time to get feedback from you out there. And some of them, well, Kende Ayubio says, well, of what use is the stress of the biometric and fingerprint if PVC is an issue? Akinola also says, well, he thinks that things can be better. Olufemi says, well, how do you prevent underage and foreigners from voting if we go with Emmanuel Mok's suggestion, I think?
Well, let's just quickly take this mail from Patrick Obahiagbon, the Chief of Staff, Edo State Governor. Well, he watched the report on bad roads in GRA. He says, well, not an erroneous observation that the GRA roads have not received the same attention like roads outside GRA. But then this, because when the Oshomole government came on board, Edo State suffered complete infrastructural paraplegia, economic sirocco, and political asphyxia. But again, I think the gist of it all is that we should be rest assured that having satisfied ourselves, the people of Edo State, of their efforts in that direction, we are already giving attention to the GRA roads. We could not have been, well, everywhere at the same time. Thanks all the same for your report. The Edo State government appreciates what you're doing at Sunrise Daily. Very truly yours, Patrick Obahiagbon.
You didn't pronounce that word.
No, he understands that I had to jump. Hick, you bake. Okay, that's everywhere at the same time. He was.
I think it's better he says it himself.
He had to define so many of these things for me. He knows that we really can't understand some. Thank you so very much.
And even if we could, our viewers might have a problem with that.
It's good. It's good a thing that we had a government watching and listening, and they had to quickly put that mail to us to bring before you. So, GRA residents in Benin, will wait for your roads. It's coming.
And then the FOI, which Chijiko talks about, it's not just for the media, it's for everybody. Well, that's it today on the program. Thank you all for watching and for sending your comments as well. We appreciate all of them. Yes, we do. But we'll be back tomorrow. I'm Chamberlain Oso.
Just in case you're wondering, it's Sunrise Daily now on Twitter and Sunrise Daily at channelstv.com. Thank you. I'm Aokwe Ogun.
Many thanks. I'm Sulaiman Alede.
Bye-bye.